Welcome everyone to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today spawned in the southwest corner of the map playing in red. We got Avely playing as the Jeanne faction, and in the northeast playing in purple. We got oil applied ASAP after shower, playing as the Order of the Dragon. Welcome everyone to Gorge. That is the map for today. Villagers coming out to deer camp already for the Order, and that's going to be a great source of food. It's a bit risky though, because Jeanne d'Arc can be pretty aggressive early on with the Royal Knights popping out, but he will have a good 2 to 3 minutes safe on the deer camp, getting extra food. Now something that's actually quite nice with this, by the way, is it allows the scout to go out and about to find as many sheep as possible, and that'll delay any sort of necessary farming transition. An interesting matchup though, I've got to say, because the Order of the Dragon versus Jeanne d'Arc, I mean, yikes. It feels like kind of a rough matchup for the Order in many ways. Considering the fact they take a long time to get going, right? It is not quick, that is for sure. It takes a while for the Order of the Dragon to get online, to get military units out, and well, Jeanne d'Arc just won't let that happen. Not if she decides to commission in some knights pretty quickly. But I don't know who's playing on the purple. If I was to hazard a guess, I would have to say it's Corvinus, mostly because I think he's probably one of the only players that's actually playing Order of the Dragon at the high level at the moment. Apart from maybe 3DB, but I have a suspicion this is Corvinus. He's the only mad lad out there that'll probably play Order of the Dented at the moment. I mean, Order of the Dragon, sorry. Apologise. But Jeanne d'Arc, a very powerful civilization. She's going to be starting her journey as a hero, commonly going into the melee attack kind of version, woman at arms. Could become a hunter herself, but we'll have to see actually how this is played by Avely. Going to be going up to the next stage pretty quickly. Now, whilst we're waiting for the action to continue, I'd like to say a very big thank you for everyone watching on YouTube, everyone watching on Twitch. Your support is super appreciated. I can't wait to share a lot more games for you on Age of Empires 4. It's definitely a good spot, the game. And I'm pretty happy with the game at the moment. It's just, I'm finding it interesting casting a lot of games, which isn't always the case, by the way. You can get bored out sometimes. Casting games at least once a day makes it you know, you got to be enjoying the game to be able to sustain that for a long time, and thankfully Age of Empires seem to be doing that at the moment. Going to be getting early wheelbarrow with the Minework Palace for the Order of the Dragon. Going to be building with 2 villages, but don't forget these villages do build faster. A whole lot faster, in fact, 20% faster. As you guys probably know by now, the villages do come out slowly as well. 24 seconds to train rather than the usual 20 for the dragon villages. They do cost an extra 10 food as well. But to compensate for that, they do get an extra 25% gather rate. Now, one thing to consider in this matchup, by the way, it's actually a really interesting one, because when you think about it, in the early games, certainly Jeanne d'Arc will have the pressure, will have the aggression. But if the Order of the Dragon can survive, that is a big deal. And the reason for that is they can boom up with the Palace of Swabe. Obviously, we're talking later in the game. Palace of Swabe can get the eco up alive. They have to survive till that point. But if they do and it gets to the super late game, the economy for the Order of the Dragon should be stronger. Like, per population, it means that they can rely on having less villages, which frees up more population for military. That 25% buffer is actually incredibly strong. Jeanne d'Arc, her villagers don't get such a bonus, but bear in mind that she can consecrate the buildings, making the cost of units a lot cheaper, which in a way certainly helps that economy. Okay, it's going to be that school of cavalry in the end, of course, but yeah, Avely going to push away a couple of the deer camp away. Corvinus going to kill them whilst he can. Bring some good amount of sheep back home. I've already got 8 deposited. Now, this is the time where the Order will need to keep a scout forward, just to keep an eye on when that knight is popping out, because it's going to pop out soon. 14 seconds remain on that guy. It does take a while to pop out though. 29 seconds to train. So for a good 5 minutes he's been on the deer camp, getting a lot of food. Going to be going for a second town center, it seems. He's got to get there quickly though, holy moly. Got 11 villages on that stone. If he wants to get a second town center, he's got to do it fast. Going to protect the gold. No fast castle play out of this for the Order. Or maybe it is actually. No, it is. I think what he's doing is getting arrow slits, right? He's not going to go for a second town center, not at all. He's going to protect the gold so he can get to the castle age. Just going to double outpost, which will keep this very well protected, by the way. It's something that's commonly done, by the way, now, because we often did used to see just one outpost. But it did mean for a long time the knights could cycle around. Villagers do garrison inside, and there's no room for the knights to get damage. At least not yet. Now I think behind this he might need to... I don't know. Where do you go for Jeanne d'Arc if in this situation? Because she can't get that much value in terms of knights. Maybe I have to go for a fast castle themselves to get hold of the relics. Maybe try and wall up those relics. More sheep being dropped home. I love this play, right? It makes sense now for the deer because he gathered a lot of important resources off the map. It means he should have now enough resources underneath the safety of the town centre to get to that castle age. It's a smart way to play it. Gonna go kill the boar. Jeanne d'Arc with a swinging sword has a plus 10 damage against the huntable animals on the base damage of 10, so 20 in total. He's actually going to be getting the stone in terms of fortification on them as well. He really does not want to lose that gold outcropping. Or to keep it safe for now. A nice bit of boar food coming in now for Jeanne. Obviously he has that capability just get onto the middle of the map now to do that. As well. Because there's no pressure coming in from the Order of the Dragon. It's something that happens with this civilization. So slow to get going. It's going to go for a castle age, greedy play. Maybe try and pick up some of those relics. It's something that actually Jeanne needs to be careful of. You don't want to let the Order of the Dragon get too much of the gold from the relics as possible. Oh, now it's going to dive in. They might even just ignore the outpost. The fact that they're there will snipe out at least... Oh, did he get the villager in there? I don't think he did. The villager managed to teleport between... in front of the knight, get into the outpost just in time. Going to wall up to the outpost as well. I like that addition actually. Minimal wall investment. And it's going to deny the knights coming in again. He's learnt the lesson from the first time around. 4 knights on the field. Quite a big investment, by the way. And it continues to mass them up. So certainly going to play a heavy feudal age. Which actually is not a bad play. Like when you think about both these civilizations, or these both factions, are variant civilizations for the HRE and the French. And it's kind of interesting to say that actually this civilization matchup did play quite similar to the parent civilizations. The HRE tend to go for a fast castle. French tend to play an extended feudal age, and they've got a good potential to deal damage against even castle age units with these royal knights. Obviously things have changed there with Jeanne in the picture, and the dragon village is actually going to be the Burggraf Palace. Good looking to pump out units. Probably the right play, right? Because it senses the damage and danger coming in. Regent's Cathedral would be super, super greedy. Does have the ability to get the golden cuirass if he does go for Gilded Man-at-Arms. Oh, Knight's going to dive in. There's not enough villager space. Oh, there is actually. Uses the Divine Restoration. Might snipe a couple of villagers on the gold vein. Does he get any? I'm not so sure. They're all garrisoned inside and 0 villagers have been killed. And Jeanne d'Arc goes down as well. A lot of idle time though. A significant amount of idle time. The landmark will be rushed up with 14 villagers. Wheelbarrow certainly helping in that regard. Keeps the villagers moving fast. Jeanne returns to the battlefield. Has consecrated the School of Cavalry, so the knights popping out now. With significantly cheaper. 105 food, 100 gold. Has got chivalry as well, so the knights that have been weakened will start to repair themselves, heal themselves up. Now with that castle age, what will the Order of the Dragon do with it? Can I get the Man-at-Arms upgrade to the early version? We need to get the castle age version as well. Getting the golden cuirass upgrade. It's kind of tricky, right? Because I think the knights are probably okay. Like the knights will counter them. Obviously he needs to have a lot of them. The Order of the Dragon shaking things up in terms of military fights and predicting them, because of course the gilded units are made different. With a higher base damage, more HP and more everything. Double archery range coming in. Maybe looking to get a couple of arbaletiers. That probably would be a smart move. Considering what's coming out next, it will be the Gilded Man-at-Arms. The concern for Corvinus, though, is going to have a hard farming transition if he's not careful. The sheep will run out pretty soon. Unless he makes a mad dash for the deer camp in the north, it's probably the better play. Maybe the boar here could potentially wall that in. But to see what he opts to do. I think he makes a dash for the north, though, to be fair, because there's a lot more resources here, right? 2 gold veins and a stone outcropping and berries. I think this is certainly got to be the player. And look at this. The knight's there for Avely. He spots this, right? This is what pro players do well. They recognize the tempo of the game, what the opponents might be doing, and what they need to be doing. Avely recognizing that food is going to be scarce for Corvinus right now, soon. I keep saying Corvinus. It doesn't necessarily... I mean, it might not be Corvinus. So I probably should stick to saying Order of the Dragon. For now, at least. Ah, we do get a confirmation in chat, on Twitch chat, actually, to say this is Corvinus. So that's actually interesting. I didn't know. But it's kind of interesting how you can kind of guess from the personality of the players, right? So I was right. Got confirmation of it in the chat. That's just how good a caster I am. I'm very humble too, of course. Anyway, villagers coming out, going out to the deer camp once again, just to finish off the job earlier. Gilded man at arms moving further forward. I mean, this is a tricky situation, right? Because it's so hard to predict actually if you engage here or not. 4 gilded man at arms, and you feel like you have like a good few knights who should be able to take the fight, but you can't. It ceases to be a numbers analysis. Wait. Hello, prelate. Do your job. Get the relic, damn it. I mean, he will get it in the end, right? Yeah, he will. Oh, the knights. No, he might not. That's actually really rough if that gets denied. It'd be pretty fun if it did, but... I mean, it should be okay. 1 gilded spearman going to hold the lines, of course. That's a lot of knights, though. Avely's confident about taking this one, and so he should. Yeah, this is actually a problem for Corvinus, by the way, because the thing about losing units for the Order of the Dragon, the thing about losing villagers, it's so snowbally. It's so rough if you lose them. Each individual unit for the Order of the Dragon are absolutely precious. And also, Jeanne got some XP out of that. Has got 2 relics in the grasp, but has to bring them in. Has to move the villagers away from the deer camp once again. Still a lot of food left out there. But there's no choice against the knights that are looming around. Has to go to berries instead. Looking to get horticulture. Relics going to be deposited in the outpost for now. Keeping an eye on the relics in the south. Now, Jeanne doesn't seem to be approaching that castle age anytime soon. 13 minutes on the mark. Constantly producing those knights, I think. Yep. Farming transition comes out now. Boar and deer. Still being taken in the south. Couple of knights just camping out on that relic. So, 2 relics in play so far for Corvinus. This is rough, though, for Corvinus, because he doesn't really have the ability to get the others. I mean, it's not necessarily the mainstay of his strategy here, considering he didn't go for the Regnus Cathedral, of course. I do like the Burgrove Palace, by the way. I think it's actually a very solid landmark for the Order of the Dragon. Primarily because of the discount. Well, we'll have to come to that and later on, because, oh, that's going to be great there for the Gilded Spearman. They engage against the Knights, but Holy Wrath ability did come out there for Jeanne. A couple of prelates adding into the fight, healing up the units. There's the Divine Restoration coming in. Oh, that's a bad fight in the end, I think, for Jeanne. It's hard to tell, though. I mean, the numbers are looking good. Jeanne does die. There aren't that many Gilded Spearmen left around. It's just mostly the Man-at-Arms. Prelates are all down. Again, it's a great fight there for Corvinus. He should win it. It's so difficult to tell at times. Sometimes I'm reading it and I think Jeanne d'Arc has it, but this is a bit of an overextension, though. I think he has to back away for now. And he does. He loses a couple on the retreat, though. Only 2 Man-at-Arms survive. Yeah, but it's so hard to read those fights sometimes. Got to do it just from experience, I think. Walling up the relics, certainly good play, just to be able to keep the units a bit more mobilized. But after that fight, by the way, this is possibly a good chance for Corvinus to move out to the northern corner of the map. Taking the berries on the east first. 30 military to 9. Avely really pumping out those units. But slowly but surely, it does look to be getting to that castle age soon. Almost 500 food in the bank. 600 and climbing. And ultimately, all he needs to do is just unclick a couple of knights and he'll be there pretty quickly. There's no rush, though. No real reason for him to do so. Taking effective trades so far. Oh, berries exposed. There are a couple of spearmen. It's got to be careful though, Corvinus. This could be a big pick-off. 4 knights diving in. Spearman brace. I think this is enough for Corvinus. He'll be fine. Spearman got in position quickly. Oh, no. Avely can't take that fight. Loses a knight on the retreat, which is rough. Palace of Swabia. We talked about earlier in the cast, and it's a mechanic the Order of the Dragon like to use. It will allow him to boom back into the game quite heavily. I mean, this is kind of crazy how... Oh, wait. Holy moly. He's losing units there. Bit of an oversight. Trying to get Wallow. It's not going to work in the end. Will be sniped. 18 villagers building the Palace of Swabia. Really committing to that tech up. Now he's going to have to defend a heck of a lot. It's kind of crazy how the Order of the Dragon get to the Imperial Age, whilst the Jeanne d'Arc faction are going to be still in the feudal age. Not for long, of course. Not for long. That army is pretty scary. 41 military. And all Jeanne needs to do is get to that castle age and tech up and get them to the veteran status, and might be able to pack out some damage. The real concern, though, is the cannon emplacements that might be coming in soon. In these outposts, it just offers so much value for the Order. Wait, do they? Has he already got them? What the hell? He actually already got them. It would seem. Well, he's diving in. Avely, he saw the tech up. He's engaging. Jeanne d'Arc is on her knight form now. And he's going to take out a couple of units. For sure, underneath the town centre and the outpost. He needs to dish out damage, take as many villages as possible. But this is an issue, though. Like, Avely... this is so rough going up against the Order of the Dragon or HRE. You have to kill them off. You can't just swarm them. Because the Palace of Swabia keep printing those villagers. It's got to be a killer blow, and it's got to be quick. Avely, though, possibly waiting for the Castle Age tech up. Probably the right thing to do. And he can't really dive this. Like, he doesn't have much military. 2 military on the field, but he can't... It will take time. He's got time. Jeanne d'Arc can't push this without siege. Siege won't be coming until the Castle Age. Because there it is, Guild Hall. Moving northwards. I like this play, though. Avely going to just try and deny any expansion points. Uh-oh, those villages on the stone. They've got to get out of there. They've got to get out of there quickly. He notices it. Going to sneak away. Close call. Oh, does he see? I don't think he sees that. That was rough. A lot of archers, a lot of knights. They'll scale quite nicely into the Castle Age with the veteran upgrades coming in. A farming transition coming in out for the Order of the Dragon, which is not bad because he does have a lot of wood. The Guild Hall, a very commonly used landmark at the moment, which is an interesting choice, by the way, because it shows that Avely doesn't feel the game has to be won in the next 15-20 minutes. If he did, he would have gone with the Royal Institute. This is where things become a little bit tricky. Like, with only 2 military, he's very exposed. I think the game is going to heat up very quickly. Avely, with the Castle Age upgrades coming in soon, he's going to pressure hard, and if Corvinus can defend and hold, there's a world in which the population, villager population, will be just so much better in terms of gather rate, 25% on them. The economy is going to be better for Corvinus soon. Isn't quite there yet, but it's going to get there sooner or later. He does need to get access to gold, though. This is a critical area of the map. I think Avely is missing a spot here. He's missing potential to deny this gold. This is an issue. Like, there's no other places for Corvinus to get to gold, and I think a win condition for Avely would be to deny the gold. But actually, instead, he's in the south, and in the meantime, villagers coming out to the north. It gives Corvinus a bit of an ability to set up some static defenses, maybe some walls. There it is. It's going to be stone walls as well. This was a missed opportunity. We'll talk about earlier in the cast how the pro players, including Avely, he did really well to deny the gold in the north. It doesn't keep the units there this time, though. Bit of a misread there. Because, of course, Corvinus has to get gold from somewhere. The only place for him to get it at the moment is in the north. Might be going there now, but might be a little bit too little too late. I gotta say, I don't think we can underestimate how important this play is for the north. The stone walls and the timing. Because he's run out of his initial gold outcropping, I think. There it is, yeah. And the gold in the south is just too exposed. And there's not much around it. Naturally making the gold in the north a lot more viable. And yeah, the knight's just not going to make it in. Unfortunately for him. You could see the idea. He was trying to get a raiding bonus on the right side. Maybe he could have split up his army a bit. But he's not going to make a way in, I'm afraid. Outpost going up for some vision. He's going to try and ram it through, though. This is a nice reaction. He recognizes this is the pressure point. This is probably the area of the game where it could be critical. Gambeson's going to be coming out as well for crossbows, giving an additional 5 melee armor. 64 military to 10. Avely, he's got a decision on his hands. Does he push in the Castle Age, which it seems to be the case he's doing? Does he try to get to the Imperial Age? He's going to break in pretty soon. Scout goes down. But he's seen what he needed to see. The ram going to break through. It will take some time. Another layer of stone walls, by the way. That is smart. It's really going to delay things. And that's what the Order of the Dragon need to do. To scale that economy, Palace of Swabia are working hard. And I think at this point we can probably safely say the economy for the Order of the Dragon is actually better than the Jeanne d'Arc faction right now. The only problem is it needs to be stronger for a significant period of time. Because he needs to make units. Question is, what would he go with? I mean, strangely enough, he could go for the Gilded Knight. You need a lot of them, though. Sacred Site's now being capped. Not got any of the relics so far. In fact, that was only temporary. The monk is going to the relics first. I would love to see Jeanne just take the Sacred Site, by the way. She's not doing all that much else anyway. Crossbows on top of the stone walls. I mean, the villagers... There's no gate there, but... Yeah, it's rough, because villagers might come around the south, but it'll be very exposed to do so. Try and torch down the ram. Avely coming down to the middle of the map, though, instead. And it's just so hard to push, right? The condensed economy, the outpost with cannon emplacements. I don't blame Avely for not pushing just yet. Feels like he needs more rams, more siege, if he wants to do that. The only problem for Avely is that the more he waits, the harder it becomes. Getting another layer of stone wall, you can just see the frustration. Especially with there's only one ram, like, it just buys so much time for the gold trickling in. Oh, he's diving in though a little bit. There is a cannon emplacement with the relic inside. Avely, he's run out of patience. He's going to get to the College of Artillery to the Imperial Age as well. So I wonder if this is a bit premature. But he does use the Divine Restoration, which keeps the units alive a little bit longer. And if he keeps a decent number of them alive, they will become elite knights in the Imperial Age. He dived in. He's going to back away. Now, thankfully, he didn't lose anything just yet. As I say that, it might lose a couple at least. Hard to get out of there. Pathing issues. Difficult to get there with the market in the way. I think after all, I only lost one knight. Now, bear in mind he has chivalry. It wasn't too bad a play, although they might lose a couple there. The Gilded Spearmen do. Oh, he's going to take the fight. Okay, that's rough. I mean, he should clear this up, but he's not going to be without damage. And the Holy Wrath ability does come out for Jeanne. But this is going to be a massive sweep up, especially with the Imperial Age coming in soon. And Avely, he misread that. He misread it in a big way. He backs away for now, but there's so many dead units, especially on the way to the Imperial Age. Corvinus must be feeling great about it right now, because that was a lot of units that went down, especially because they could have been Imperial Age units very soon. Villagers do come out to torch down that ram in the end. And he's held for longer. A masterclass in defending, a masterclass of delaying the game to let your economy do what it needs to do. Now, he did add a second TC here behind this, by the way. A second town centre for Avely. Will help him keep up in the population count and help him compete a little bit in the later game. But I gotta say, the population efficiency of the dragon villagers might be a problem for Jeanne. That is a lot of army, though. Is it just me, or does it take a lot more time for age ups to come in? It feels like the age up is very slow. The sacred sites have been capped. That is possibly a winning condition for Jeanne, I gotta say. I would love to have seen that earlier. I think we've seen a couple of games casted recently, actually, where it just seems a bit of an oversight. missing out on the mid-map objective, missing out on the sacred sites. Because, of course, Order of the Dragon playing very contained in the economy. That sacred site could have been at 5 minutes by now if he caught the sacred sites earlier. It is what it is. The game is by far over, though. Heading forward with archers first. He knows there's a lot of gilded spearmen on the field. And here come the rams. We're heading into the 26th, 27th minute of the game where the Order of the Dragon actually become very scary. We talked about it earlier in the cast that if you can survive this long, it almost feels like Order of the Dragon are favoured. But he managed to survive this long. Jeanne wasn't able to punish things. That's a lot of crossbows and spears. Those horsemen can't... I mean, they're going to get decimated in a second. I mean, it's not even a... Yeah. Anyway. We look away. We don't watch that. This is where we want to watch. A couple of rams. This is a nice addition. I love this play, though, because ultimately with a push against the Order of the Dragon or even against the HRE, if you push, you've got to take out infrastructure. If you don't, they boom back up again with the Palace of Swabia, and it all comes down to 0. He's going north, though, to try and deny the gold. I think it's a smart idea. It feels like it's the play. Stonewall's coming out now for Corvinus, really protecting that economy. 3 rams in total, but they're going to be poked and prodded by the spearmen. More knights joining into the fight. That's a big army. Jeanne has got the sacred site victory approaching. So Corvinus can't just sit at home forever. He's going to have to venture out at some point. Bear in mind, the economy is working hard, and the longer this goes, the bank of resources is climbing, but that's a lot of rams, by the way. Could potentially go for a landmark snipe victory. Spearmen and crossbows might have something to say about that, though. Engages. Those villagers trying to get the stone walls up. They're going to be the focus of fire, a lot of them. A lot of prelates on the front line. They're tanking. They go down. Don't think that was intentional. Engages with a lot of those gilded spearmen. Knights charge in. Jeanne, she might lose her life. She does. Divine Restoration comes in just at the right time. But that's a lot of spearmen. The knights are going down. The crossbows as well. The knights get absolutely decimated by both unit compositions. The choices of units here for Corvinus, right on point of dealing with the knights. Arbitrary have to back away. Ram's still alive, but yeah, they're going to get walled in fact, and the amount of damage they're going to be able to do is limited now. Jeanne does return to the battlefield, has the 3 sacred sites still in his possession. You feel that might be the only way that Avely can win this game. Now at this point, I think Corvinus doesn't even need to make any more villages. Could just look to pump out more units. Speaking of units, a lot of the production is on the front, which certainly does help things to reinforce the army, but if he is pressured, that's the first thing that will go down. There's a long time before that possibility and where we are now in the game, though. Royal cannon on the field, adding in some more siege. But again, I've got to say, this army from the Order of the Dragon just looks a bit dangerous, looks a bit menacing. The golden armor. Heading in north once more. Trying to break through the stone walls. Wait, did he just lose a keep there? Oh, that was a barracks. It is. A barracks only. Keep getting on the west side, sacred site. Looking to keep that protected. Oh, but the gilded crossbowmen on the stone walls. On top of it, spearmen. Going to be pushing further forward. Arbitrary should take care of those. Jeanne, in the meantime, gathers valuable XP. The Royal Cannon deploys, getting the splash damage. The Gilded Crossbowman against the Arbitraire. The Gilded Crossbowman will win that fight. Although the numbers are starting to looking a bit overwhelming. A couple of man-at-arms, or champions rather. Vajanta are going to tank against those Gilded Crossbows. The crossbows go on top of the stone walls, making things a little bit more difficult, but the keep should go up on the sacred site. A lot of production there, but it does mean the production when it comes out, they have to retreat backwards. They can't go into the keep fire. The cannon might take out the barracks before too many more units pop out. Looks like Corvinus might dive this, though. I'm not sure. I mean, he's going to try and deny the keep. I thought it goes up, but it might not. If he focuses on the villagers, he might be able to deny the keep. Divine Restoration comes out on the units just to heal them up a little bit. And the keep goes up in the end. Doesn't focus on the villagers quick enough. Just about. Takes the engagement, fighting underneath the keep. I'm not sure that's advisable, but he will win the unit fight. Oh, that's overwhelming. Corvinus, he recognizes he wins that fight, and he's just going to push it. Jeanne d'Arc riding in. Nothing else really happening on the map at the moment as we speak. Jeanne backs away. She doesn't want to fight that for sure. Units popping out to torch down the keep in the end. Couple of gilded spearmen. And he should be okay. I mean, he's going to suffer some losses, but he should be able to take it out in the end. Yeah, he does. He's going to take it out. Unfortunately, that keep didn't survive for long. And that sacred site in the north should be decapped. 3 royal cannons. Going to go out onto gold in the south. And I wonder how much gold Corvinus has left. I think he's used all of it. He actually has 0 villages on gold at this point. I think it just expired now as we spoke. Oh, villagers coming out. Okay, well, he's using the dragon villagers to fight with them. Why not? With increased HP, 98, they're going to take out the siege. That could be absolutely huge to use as the Holy Wrath ability. Villagers do back away for now, but wait a minute. He committed for a while and then backed off. He's going to commit once more, and there isn't actually that many units here for Avely to deal with that. A couple of horsemen, the village is going to take out the royal cannons. Probably worth a trade when you factor in. He can reproduce them again from the Palace of Swabia. Takes out one. About to take out a second. He takes out Jeanne as well. Takes out all 3 royal cannons. That is definitely a good trade. A lot of villagers still survive, and that is a big push. All of a sudden, down to 17 military. Corvinus, maybe he's done it. He held on so long in his base to a point where the Order of the Dragon economy just came online, and now so are the units. He's going to start to push, and this is where things become tricky. A lot of productions on the front lines that have been consecrated, so he'll be able to produce units quickly and cheaply, but he hasn't had the farming transition he needed at Avely. A lot of wood banked up. Not enough food coming in. Take a look at the food coming in for Corvinus. 2,200 versus just the measly 1,500. And factor in a lot of these units do cost a lot of food. Arbaletria and those knights. Now granted, he has consecrated the buildings, which certainly helps, but he's only got 90 food in the bank. And that shows you the problem he's dealing with. Now to make matters worse, not only did Avely lose the sacred site in the north, well, Corvinus is going to get in control of it. Doesn't have much gold coming in, but he does have 2 of those relics. And about to have a sacred site. Knights coming in on the north. A big concern for Corvinus, he doesn't really have gold, but I gotta say, even gilded spearmen, they can pack a punch. Bear in mind that the Gilded Archer is probably one of the best units for the Order of the Dragon. Quite a few villages exposed. Let's be careful here. Oh, gets a big charge on it. Yep, 2 villages go down. The villagers do back away. One thing to consider is wood. He does have a bit of wood still left here he can take. Not a lot. Oh no, those knights, those horsemen are getting absolutely chewed apart by those spearmen. Peeling them off into 2, trying to get us around. And he's going to get them all. He's made a little bit of a playpen. He's trapped them in. There's no way out there for Avely. A master stroke there by Corvinus, trapping them in. And those knights and Jeanne, they're going to fall victim to the Gilded Spearmen. An absolutely fantastic play. Uses the Holy Wrath ability to get as much value as possible. But Corvinus trapping in so many expensive units. And they all go down. A great play. He's played this so methodically. Played it so cleanly. It's got to be frustrating for Avely, I got to say. Hard to be in his position, especially when he had so much military for so long. Just hasn't been able to make it count for something. He's getting bloodlines. We factor in 100 villagers for the Order of the Dragon. Added another 25 because of the 25 gather speed extra. Makes it pretty tricky for Avely. Doesn't have the food bank he wants. Plenty of food and gold in the bank for the Order. Might snap out one of the cannons. Doesn't quite, but those cavalry going to absolutely melt to those Gilded Spearmen. The cannons do deploy on the hand cannoneers. The dragon hand cannoneers. These guys are absolute beasts. And they're going to snipe out a lot of the units. Arbaletria are going to get surrounded. Gilded Spearmen are going to poke and prod. Even with the Gambeson's upgrade, by the way, the Spearmen are still taking these units apart. Holy Wrath ability comes in once more, but with these units going down, it finds it a difficult situation for Avely to deal with this. How does he deal with this massive units? More are coming in from the back line. Obviously, the bank of resources there for Corvinus. Certainly coming in clutch. He's producing a lot of units. And he is at population capacity. Avely down to 150. Now the 4 production buildings might be going down pretty soon. The Order of the Dragon. They're starting to gain momentum. Trouble is, can Avely stop this? I'm not so sure. A Ford keep there, possibly coming in for Corvinus. We should see villagers popping forward soon, and the prelates adding in a lot of healing capabilities, but also boosting up the villagers on the attack, on the units on attack, by the way. If he does have the warriors upgrade, I think he probably does. Yeah, he has got it. That keep going to be going up. A lot of villagers building that. No real problem getting that up. I don't think that's going to be denied at all. Avely, he's trying to mass up units. Does have 2 more cannons. I think knights are a problem, right? Because ultimately dragon villagers, or the dragon have hand cannoneers. They've got spearmen. They've got the perfect counter to the knights. Wait, did he just delete that keep? He's going to get even further forward. Just to assert his dominance, Jeanne does return, but can she lead her army to a charge and victory? I'm not so sure. Holy Wrath ability comes out once again. Spearmen, though, they're going to take those cavalry out in a blink of an eye. And she does get up to tier 4 now. Does call in her champions. But she's going to need more than that. Keep on the front line. Rams as well. Those dragon hand cannoneers. Jeanne is being chased by the Gilded Spearmen. They're in the economy. They're denying a lot of farming economy. And this is a big, big issue. Even with 2 town centers, I'm not sure Avely can build back from this. Has plenty of villagers. He doesn't have the military. That is the big problem. Doesn't have the economy. A second keep coming up on the west side. Rams taking out the production. And the College of Artillery about to fall to 3 Rams. Dragon hand cannoneers sniping villagers on the farms. Jeanne on her last limbs. When she goes down, you feel like Jeanne d'Arc, her faction will go down with her. She rides away for now, keeping herself alive. But this is looking rough, I gotta say. Pushing further forward. Camping out now. Avely not able to build a massive units. All the units that are popping out, they're going to get slaughtered. He's being camped on. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Corvinus, he takes the game. A great game of Age of Empires 4. Played it compact, played it condensed. Jeanne d'Arc couldn't get the value. Maybe had an opportunity in the north to deny the goal, but didn't quite take it. Hope you guys enjoyed the castle game. Take care, and see you next time.